You doing? About bragging on you today. I heard somebody bragging on you this week. Somebody, I don't know. Somebody at work, they're talking about you helped them out, helped their family member out, therapy, whatever. And because they kept telling your name, you John Davis, is that what you go by? John Andrew. Okay, yeah. Anyways, they kept saying that. I was like, they kept ringing the bell. I was like, I know that guy. So good. Yeah, they were down there. They did best, did really good jobs. Whatever who it was, actually. So good.
Okay, we'll wrap up here. Good to see everyone here, and glad you came out on this nice, cool afternoon. And so if you get a songbook, 517, 517. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful day. Forget. Thanks for in darkness away. Jesus, my Savior. Oh, tender pray. Even if Jesus, he may be on. When the cross and Savior gave me cold, my sin were once complete. My night was turned to everything and glory. So, when the Spirit with life and soul, it is perfectly divine. Justified fully through Calvary was over standing in and perfection so quickly when sin Christ came to offer you from my Savior was so never over and here in death for sure. Now, and he comes that wonderful day with the cross and his it's the first for his process and everything. And glory filled so when the cross made me whole. her boss to the left. To that.
Will be seated. Number 716. Number 716. You'll see all three verses of this song. Sing to me of heaven, sing that song up from the tools it will bring release. Burdens will be lifted down, sing so shadows on sing on sing to let's go. See to me, shadows of me. See to me, this song. See to me, it's my water, tree down, it's so joy. See, sweet song. Sing to me. Let's go. Sing to me. Shadows. Sing to me. Sing to me. Tender. Shadows. Linger. My heart. Sing to shadows of sing to
So. Hey, that's, Lenora Owen has a doctor's appointment for 11:40, and she needs a ride. So probably need to pick her up by. Consider prospects in the most clients is now on your phone. On that. Get you, if you don't come to class, it'd be here. When it's- Okay, prayer list, it seems to grow.
Amber Crosby had surgery this morning, had 2 glowing discs. They hopefully got that solved, but when you don't have a feeling in your leg, people. I just put it down. Well, why is it on one? I'll feel good on the root, yeah. I know. Anyway, I need to pray for her and Judy Warren and Riddigar surgery. Lynn Lamb had that, she reports a son, brother, her son Jeremy. Hit my infant. And of course, Lenore and her cousin has cancer. Billy Bates. Surgery. Well, she'll start. Chemo. Radiation first. 3 days. And Gordon. Joe Beck, he's the room on that team. Now, you don't need to go visit him till about 3:30. I went at 8:30, I thought I'd get there before they started therapy. And I was like, that you have to come with. He's seen big in his career. Rick Higgins. David had his MRI, does wait. This. All it's on, it's still a great week. Okay. Very good. John Cook. That's spoken, you're right again. Right, you good. You. Barbara too, she was confused because anyone else, they can. Okay, so you. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna come down his meeting. Okay, so, right. I haven't followed with us. Thank you that way. You come to you in prayer on behalf the brothers and sisters that's on prayer list, we're gonna ask that you with Aaron, with Don, with Mike Reagan. Ollie. Also David. Was adopted by his back. With Rick, with Bob and Joe. Back. Also, all one Becky County Street. On food procedures, with drinking. And the word. With the baby. The more she has the moment. Doesn't. That's cancer. With all one of the code, treatment, surgery, the reason. Also with Amber, she recovers. Her surgery. Usually one. Very standing. Soon, she takes treatments to be a very model. Please, yes, sir. I have followed with this thankful. Yeah, the health that will be here tonight. Long as we live with physical water, pain and sugar. Okay. And just thankful that we can get out there tonight, we have freedom and war. If you. We just go with the class, we're thankful to the teachers that willing to teach, we appreciate. The ones that are taking time to do, very important. We have people that work. Yes.
Worked out when I am. Worked out. I'm already going to what happened to those. I'm not there.
Okay, just a little quick review. Remember chapter 18. First part of it. Abraham had 3 visitors. It says one of them was the Lord and had 2 angels, the messengers. And Alex not here, he sent me a website that this one guy named Anthony Rogers. And we have a short video of Sodom tomorrow. And they truthfully, they come there and said they hadn't found the site of Sodom, but these guys said they had. And they found this site of the ancient city that's burnt to the grid. And they have a theory of what happened to us. Anyway, this guy named by the name of Anthony Rogers, and I have no idea who he is, and he does use a lot of references. And you might try to get it on the screen later. And if you want to study it, it's probably lengthy. He says Jesus is the divine measure of what potential. Now either, because the Bible says you can't see God and live. Okay. Now either he had a special angel, which I tend to believe, because like Greg said last week, Jesus was sent for a specific reason. And we know he was there to get into creation, been there all. So, you know, there's different ideas on when Jesus appeared in the Old Testament. Some say he did. I have a website said that, he does have a lot of references. Some of them sound good, some of them doesn't. I've got it on the phone. I send it to you. Look at it. You can delete it. Or far. Look at the water flow. Anyhow. So, anyhow. So, he invited these visitors in. Of course, Eastern Hospitality said that, you know, let visitors in. It's not like we do today. Even if we know the people, we get no film. You know, even cancel. What's those saying? 3 days. So the Lord left, and 2 angels, Abraham walked with them, and what did they tell him they were going to do? Visit certain cities, right? Thought they might do. So this video here shows it's their concept of how God destroyed this city. And you take one for it. It did it. That what they said happens, they would do it for sure. And this same guy had the video on about the flood. He's produced a lot of videos. So Ryan, you want to start then?
When that happened, several cities on a plain were utterly destroyed by a fire raining down. Today, we know this story as the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. However, for years, archaeologists searched for the cities on the plain with no luck. So many argue the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was a mythic tale that never actually happened in reality. However, new evidence has come to light that suggests the destruction was a real historical event. The biblical location of Sodom and Gomorrah was a matter of debate for years, with mostly everyone agreeing that cities, if real, would have existed around the Dead Sea. Some propose that the cities should be located at the southern end of the Dead Sea. Possible locations were found, and one site in particular showed signs it was abandoned and exposed to fire. At first, it may have looked promising, and some conservative archaeologists have promoted it as a satellite city of Sodom. However, several studies have shown that this site was abandoned around 2350 BC, long before the time period of Abraham, even by very conservative estimates. The surrounding sites also did not seem to end at the same time period, with one coming to an end about 300 years earlier. Thus, the southern sites could not be the cities of the plain. Furthermore, the geographical location of Sodom seems to suggest a more northern location. In Genesis 13, Abraham leaves Egypt and goes into Negev, and then travels to a place between Bethel and Ai, after which Lot and Abram agree to split up so they don't fight over grazing grounds. Then Abram said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are kinsmen. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if you take the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and saw that the Jordan Valley was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, in the direction of Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself all the Jordan Valley, and Lot journeyed east. Thus they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled among the cities of the valley, and moved his tent as far as Sodom. So what we can see is, Genesis says that Abram and Lot were around Bethel and Ai, and then Lot moved east and settled across the Jordan Valley, close to Sodom. This suggests Sodom was across the Jordan River, at the northern end of the Dead Sea. Genesis 13 also refers to the area as a kicker. Nahum Sarna, notice this word means round or oval shaped, which fits the description of the flat plain north of the Dead Sea, where the Jordan River flows through. One can also see extremely far across it, fitting with the description of Lot, being able to see across the whole valley. And the evidence suggests it is a well-watered region, filled with several springs. Later on, the Romans utilized these springs to bring water to various cities via aqueducts. So the plain north of the Dead Sea fits the description of being a well-watered place, as Genesis 13 records. Genesis 14 also records the existence of bitumen pits around Sodom, which fits with the northern end of the Dead Sea, as later cultures mined the area for bitumen. Dr. Leon Rittmeyer notes Genesis reference in chapter 14 to the valley of Siddim, that is the Salt Sea, can also fit with the general area, where the armies of Sodom went out to fight the invaders. In the Middle Bronze Age, a northeastern corner of the Dead Sea may have had a widened breach due to fluctuations of the sea level, which can fit with the description of where the Battle of Genesis 14 took place. At times, various areas along the Dead Sea were open land and can fit nicely with a valley being nearby Sodom. Thus, given all this data, the description of Genesis aligns quite well with the northern end of the Dead Sea. Some suggest Sodom must be further south, because Ezekiel 16:46 says it was south of Jerusalem. But the word we translate as south doesn't actually mean that. It literally means to the right of. In fact, in verse 46, the author is speaking of the perspective of the city of Jerusalem, and first mentions how Samaria is north of the city, then mentions Sodom off to the right. If you were in Jerusalem looking north, off to the right would be east, just north of the Dead Sea, which would fit with where Genesis 13 indicates that Sodom is. Going on this information, archaeologist Stephen Collins began looking for Sodom in this area. In working on earlier surveys, he came to a site called Tel El Hammam, which was the largest Middle Bronze Age site in the Jordan Valley. To put it into perspective, Collins says 10 of the city of David would have fit inside Sodom city walls with room to spare. Excavations began on the site in 2005. Initially, it was found that the site was suddenly destroyed and abandoned, but the date of the destruction seemed to be too late to match the biblical account, as it fit with a date of around 1600 BC. However, in 2013, new evidence came to light after 8 seasons of excavations and reading over 40,000 separate vessels. The massive destruction and sudden end of the occupation of the site happened right in the Middle Bronze Age too, correlating with the time period of Abraham. Collins notes the date of the destruction has been confirmed repeatedly from carbon dating testing. Also, after the sudden destruction, the area was uninhabited until the Iron Age. What is interesting is the massive site and the surrounding satellite cities seem to have been suddenly destroyed by fire and an extreme amount of heat. Despite centuries of erosion, vast amounts of ash were found in the layer of the Middle Bronze Age that was associated with the end of the occupation. Pottery that melted into glass, melted zircon crystals, mud brick structures blown off their foundations, and scorched foundation stones were all found in this layer. showing there was a massive fiery catastrophic event that suddenly ended the occupation of the site. Collins says, "We have pieces of pottery melted into glass, some bubbled like lava, found across the site. We have burned foundation stones and bricks turned red or ceramic-like from extremely hot temperatures. Most of the Middle Bronze Age 2 mud brick superstructures are seemingly blown off their foundations. It is a scene of utmost devastation and disintegration. We have even documented pieces of desert glass, impact glass, strewn across the eastern kicker, created at temperatures exceeding 6,000 degrees Celsius. The most likely explanation for such extreme levels of heat would be a meteor blast, similar to what happened in Russia roughly 100 years ago. As Dr. Philip Sylvia says, there is only one naturally occurring source of energy that is capable of producing the concussive force and thermal profile observed in the material evidence from Tel El Hammam and its neighbors, namely a Tunguska-class meteoritic airburst. In 1908, scientists believe a meteor entered the atmosphere over Russia, but instead of hitting the surface, it disintegrated about 5 to 10 kilometers above the surface, causing a massive airburst and igniting what was beneath it on fire. The energy released by the airburst was estimated at 20 megatons of TNT at an altitude of 10 kilometers. Trees were scorched, but not burned except at ground zero, where everything was totally destroyed. A similar event is likely the explanation of what happened to the cities of the Middle Bronze Age 2. And archaeologists have used the Russian event as a model. Sylvia reported signature features have been found at the site of Tel El Hammam, indicating something similar happened. Samuel Gladstone has suggested, based on known destruction extent and levels found in the Jordan Valley, a meteor would likely have exploded about 1 kilometer above the cities in the region. The area would also have been uninhabitable for centuries, as fertile soil would have been stripped of its nutrients, which fits with the archaeological record, as the area was virtually abandoned until the Iron Age. But what is interesting is the destruction matches extremely well with what we find in Genesis, of fire raining down and totally destroying the area. Thus, the authors conclude, the physical evidence from Tel El Hammam and neighboring sites exhibits signs of a highly destructive concussive and thermal event that one might expect from what is described in Genesis 19. Therefore, it seems the authors of Genesis not only accurately recorded how the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah took place, but somehow managed to place it in the right time period when Abraham existed, correlating with several other things within Genesis, which line up perfectly with the Middle Bronze Age 2. If you were a Jew living in the Iron Age, it is unlikely you'd be able to fabricate an event that generally lines up with the later archaeological and scientific data. Thus, it is far more likely the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is a reliable account handed down to the Israelites of what took place during the lifetime of Abraham.
When we see that's not made of story. The two measures God was able to run God on the scroll of Sodom. Now, method, always wondered how it did it. He's just showing us, maybe, go. Expanding. Meteorite exploding one kilometer, which is less than a mile above that city. When destroyed, amazing. Ryan, turn on the fire. Please. Lord, let's see. Before we get to the destruction, thought, Abraham intercedes for them. Does he have reason to do it? What about Matthew? We left off at verse 22, so chapter 18, verse 23 through 33, the rest of the chapter. Read that and see that he tries to make a deal with God. It said, then Abraham approached him and said, will you sweep away the righteous for the wicked? But if there are 50 righteous people in the city, will you really sweep away and not spare the place for the sake of 50 righteous people? Far be from you to do such a thing, and kill the righteous with the wicked. Treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be from you, will not the judge of all the earth do right. The Lord said, if I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I'll spare the whole place for their sake. Then Abraham spoke up again. I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, so I am nothing but just and natural. Because the number of the righteous is 5 less than 50. We destroy the whole city for like 5 people. If I find 45 there, he said, I will not. Once again, he spoke for him, why it was all 40 of them. He said, for the sake of 40, I will not do it. Then he said, may the Lord not be angry, but let me speak while if only 30 can be found. The answer, I will not do it if I find 30. And Abraham said, now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, why if only 20 can be found? He said, for the sake of 20, I will not do it. Then he said, may the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more, or if only 10 can be found. He answered, for the sake of 10, the Lord not destroy it. The Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, Abraham returned home. Here, Abraham is depicted as a compassionate prophet, begging for the lives of some righteous people. This is a prime example in the Bible of, good versus righteous, good versus evil. And this thing appears numerous times in the Bible. And it's going to be the same thing at the end of time. Good versus righteous. Final judgment, Revelation 20. And the question is, did Abraham already know that Sodom was a wicked place? Think so? Because he didn't challenge God's evaluation of their sin, he granted their sin, he didn't question it. All he did question even for life with the wicked. Sometimes I had. Sometimes innocent people suffer because of the guilt of other things. And we're going to see that Lot may not rank it very high on the list of among the average person, especially in the next chapter. When these men approach his house. Six says that the Lord loves the righteous, but he frustrates the way of the wicked. So in Abraham's intercession with Sodom, he pointed out 3 times that would be unimaginable that God will treat the righteous and the wicked the same manner. And he said, would you weep us with the way the righteous will be wicked? The second objection was, he said, will you kill the righteous with the wicked? American Senator said slave. And this actually means put to death. Later on, this word comes to mean with the executed one who was guilty of the capital under the Leviticus for one. His third rejection was treat the righteous and the wicked alike. Be thankful people. You going far be from you to show you not judge all earth. Feel right. Really. Yeah.
Be a man. God ordained me to you spare a lot for you, the righteous.
Yeah, he was just, yeah. Yeah.
They went right to the lot. That's what he did. All of that he was. That was simple.
Apparently, while the woman was considered an easy talk to really the property. And it was very powerful. Rich.
Right. The thing that he says, that is not faith. So, they not had to have some form of right.
He did, according to Peter, he did. The attitude about women didn't really change with Jesus Christ. He wanted to change things that attitude about women. Actually, there were a lot of nations, so five, if a girl was born, they might have put them on back up, even a male child. They put them on a lot in 3 days, they lived, they kept them, and they died of the bad. And they kept the strongest people. And the people working. Yeah.
Getting there nice and little work is on like I don't know if that's the reason God agreed to it, but we play the reason. You know, Rockies, stuff where this was on. Yeah, like that's what we come involved. Excited. He's along with his army.
Yeah, and of course, the truth of that contract comes up with saying that, God is just God and he's patient and he wants everyone to come to believe in him. And that's true. He's not a grandfather to let everything go. But he is a just and patient God also. But he did, like Greg said, probably for Abraham, he listened to him. It's okay. And he agreed with the prophet. Oh, We do that today, and pray to God, we ask for something. We do it essentially thing. Answers or something, you know. Or the answer, but maybe. You know, if you start out going down to 5, they 10, got the whole way down to 10 people. And according to this video, it's a pretty good sized city, but couldn't find 10 people. In Camelot, he had, 2 daughters we know of, and they were betrothed, that's we consider kind of engaged. So that would have been him and his wife, it would just been the 6 people. Even the son-in-law wasn't with them yet. It's him and his wife, and she didn't make it out, she turned around and was back. She didn't believe that lifestyle. Yes. Apparently not. Even later, in chapter 15, and the man came to the door, 2 men. That's if the son-in-law is working with those guys, obviously they go to work. Well, he proved that to me that he's a jerk for that. That some people try to take up on and said, well, that was the cover that you had to protect your guest. That's not been true. But you have to protect your daughters too. It's great. No. Great. Got any questions over chapter 18? Bill? No. You can be considered righteous. It says Abraham was righteous and walked with God. That means he had a close relationship with God. Yeah. But he made mistakes, did he? So we as Christians, we're considered righteous. We're considered Christians. We make mistakes. I heard a guy say one time, as far as he could remember, he hadn't seen this one. Well, he just told a lie. Still.
But they did today. We were on a small room.
Yeah.
We told the public, so we want to do this for this method. But God just knows that it's sad that he didn't understand. Yeah, there's all people that start to understand about that. We'll make your argument about what's the whole world. Even though we know we only on this small group, really being safe. I'm about to use the library. You know, if you could stop it. It's embarrassing to be inside the
It's like, they're like, in the desert, for a few women. And they had a baby, they all it is run on the ground. The plant, in the room. What time? Well, about 2 minutes. That's all we got left tonight.
Yeah.
We don't have any to do. Well, I'm sorry, Jeff, and I think. Any out in chapter 18. Let me throw up through the page. Well, in chapter 19, we're going to see construction, what we are seeing the video on. And they kind of went back and reviewed a little bit so that we can get a better understanding of why. What led up to it. And we're going to see in chapter 19 that Lot, instead of living out in the country by himself like he should, he moved to town, which is a mistake. Because he was in the house, he stepped at the city gate, and he wasn't well accepted. You can see that in verse 9. Chapter 19, he wasn't accepted. He was good as a foreigner. He didn't have a very good reputation for reading. Peter said he was right. Debbie's the tribute this message for you.
Right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the beautiful day that we've had and beautiful season. Thankful that we can be here tonight. Need peace, study the word. Thank you for the teachers that put so much to help us to understand your word and your will for us. Father, we just pray for those that are having physical issues and getting that, we join with those that are able to come home. And know that you would cause and that to bless and will want them so much for that. Father, we know that because of the way the world is right now, and all of this stress over Tennessee, people, anybody. Father, just help us to realize that you are in control. That's all we can worry about. This evening, as we depart from here, we just ask the leaders, everyone here, and families, to keep everyone up to the meet again. So what's that? These things confirm in Jesus' name.
Yeah.